After being a no-show in court yesterday, Prince Harry is the first senior royal to take the stand in 130 years, giving evidence this morning in the UK tabloid hacking trial. For more, here is our royal expert, Patricia Treble. All right, Patricia, as we know, it is a... Okay. We don't have Patricia at this moment.
Okay. We're going to try to get her here in just a second. She's in Ottawa for us this morning, covering this, watching every moment of this trial as it's just commencing day one. We're going to get a break. We got her.
We got her.
Okay.
We got her. Okay. So we're going to go to Patricia. Okay. Patricia, we have established how historic this moment is. Yep. It is being called the royal court case of the century. Harry is already being cross-examined by the lawyer for the Mirror. Bring us up to speed. What is the latest?
Oh, cross-examinations are never easy, especially when you're in a court of law. And this is really when you see the difference between an interview, a memoir, and a legal proceeding when you're under oath. It was aggressive. We knew it was going to be like that. The Mirror lawyer is punching holes, trying to punch holes in Harry's recollections, in his case that he was hacked. And they're going through 33 articles. They're going through it like chronologically from when he was 12 years old. And basically the lawyer is saying, you know, do you remember this correctly? How could you have had your phone hacked in 1996 when you didn't get a phone until 1998? And of course, you're trying to remember things from that long ago. And on the defense, though, Harry is very composed, very soft-spoken. He's, you know, answering very short little answers, as I'm sure his lawyers prepped him to be. But what he's also saying is, oftentimes, he's saying it simply isn't in the public interest for them to know these sorts of things. Whether that will work with a judge, I don't know. But this is just the first half of the first day of this trial.
All right, and it's explosive to say the least, Patricia. Do we know how long Prince Harry is expected to be on the stand and how long this trial, how long it will last?
So he's expected to be on the stand all day today and likely coming back for a bit tomorrow because, of course, he wasn't on the stand yesterday, which we'll talk about. The actual trial is expected to go through to about the end of the month because he's one of four kind of what's called representative cases. There's a big class of people who are suing the Mirror, and he's one of the people who's testifying, whose testimony is being used to kind of represent everyone.
Okay. Jeff mentioned, and you as well, that Prince Harry wasn't in court yesterday. The judge said he was a little surprised by Harry's absence on day one. Has there been any further mention of that in court today?
No, there hasn't been. I mean, everyone's pros, but when you have a judge saying he's surprised, you never want a judge saying he's surprised at your witness not being there. The judge specifically wanted him there because in case the lawyers got through their opening statements early, like he's running a tight ship, he wants to move this along. I don't think it'll have any effect in the long run, but it certainly doesn't set the right tone for Harry because this is his case. This is something that he has been pursuing for a very long time. So the fact that he didn't show up yesterday was, as the judge said, surprising.
Now, Prince Harry's lawyer stated yesterday, Patricia, he was not in court because he was celebrating his daughter's birthday. Yep. And there was no mention of Lilibet's birthday by the palace or their website. Was this an intentional snub?
I don't think it was an intentional snub. I think the system might be changing. So when the late Queen was alive, all the grandchildren got mentions, and that really has changed. And I think because we've got Lilibet and Archie didn't get a mention, but neither did Louis, Prince Louis, when he had his birthday last month. No, 2 months ago. But Charlotte got a retweet. So I think it might be in question. I think what they're trying to do, we'll see when George has his birthday coming up in a little while, whether he gets a mention. But I think it's simply the case where private members of the family simply are just not going to be acknowledged on the royal social media feeds.
Okay. All right. Look at that, Patricia, keeping track of all the grandkids and the mentions. That's a lot to keep track of. All right. Speaking of the palace, how closely do you think they're watching this trial?
Oh, they're watching it really closely. I mean, look, he's the first royal in 130 years to be on the stand, and this is his trial. I mean, this is the first of 3 major lawsuits he's got against the tabloids. He's basically suing everyone except I think 3 newspapers in Britain, in London. They've got to be following it very closely, just to see what the fallout is. Because let's face it, you know, he's a private member of the family, but as he was introduced in court, His Royal Highness Prince Harry. So there, you know, any blowback is going to happen on them. And he introduced a witness statement in which was released just as he started to testify, in which he called the current Rishi Sunak's government rock bottom. That's going to be, you know, there's going to be some talk about that, I would think.
All right, it is only day 1. Buckle up. Patricia Treble, thank you so much for the update. Appreciate it this morning.
You're welcome.